Hello everyone, Medford Collectibles. We are back here. Got a quick update on this SGC damage issue that occurred a few months ago now. I've had the cards back for probably about a month. It took them a long time to resolve this. So I sent these cards in probably end of August. If you guys watched the videos before, there's a lot of bottom left corner damage to most of the cards that came back. It was kind of suspicious. One card was blatant damage and very obvious. I have multiple pictures and videos of this card on camera, and I'll give an update on what happened there. But the customer service turnaround was bad. It was really bad. It took over a month to get resolution, and the resolution wasn't all that great, to be honest. But as always, you guys like these videos, give us a follow, give us a like. Medford Collectibles on all the platforms. I also have a quick PSA sub. They're 50 special, so I threw together 11 cards to throw in to send in. It is Halloween, so I'm in the last day. Down to the wire here with that submission. Nothing too crazy in here. Some decent cards in that PSA submission, but I'll go through those as well as part of this. So first off, these SGC, the issue here. The first issue was they actually said this was a post instead of a jello. So I sent that back. They did change the label to jello. So that's not a valuable card, but at least wanted to be accurate. So they fixed that and sent it back to me. Next one here is a 1966 Willie Stargell that had this bottom left corner damage. They just re-slabbed it and left the 6 on it and said no damage found. This one was kind of borderline, so I'm not overly upset about that one. The value of this card, a 6 versus a 7, isn't that much different anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But it was more, I sent 2 of these cards in with the same damage, more to show that it wasn't just one issue. I did send a note in with when I sent it back in as well, just telling them kind of what I saw in the video, or what I saw in the submission. It seemed kind of odd. So they sent that back, and nothing they could do there. So this is where the problem occurs. So they sent the Hank Aaron back. And if you guys go back and look at the video, when you look at the video, you will notice this corner, even from this far away, the corner is blatantly damaged. Well, now you look at it in the slab, and the corner looks fine. And the reason being is, when the gentleman called me back from SGC a month later, and he told me they went through and didn't find anything that they could prove was done on their end, his suggestion to me was, well, don't use penny sleeves when you submit vintage cards because it can cause damage to the corners. And my response was, well, I have pictures of the card in the vintage sleeve and videos of the card in the sleeve before I sent it to you, and the corner wasn't turned up. So it looks like the card was dropped. And to which he responded, well, in my experience, dropping a card would cause more damage than that to the corner. So I don't, it was a complete cop-out. There was no real resolution given. Just, we're going to give you your cards back and not do anything about it, really. He also said we were able to fix the corner a little bit for you in the slab, which is probably even worse, which goes to show that it wasn't damaged when they got it, but they kind of pushed it back down and put it back in the slab. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's over with. I mean, best case scenario, this car would have gotten maybe a 7, and it came back a 5. It's a couple $100 difference. It's not the end of the world. Just kind of irritating that there was really no resolution given. And the resolution was, well, don't use penny sleeves and send in vintage cards, which is kind of crazy. That's what they came back with. He also said that even though the corner was turned up, that had it been a perfect corner, the card would have received the same grade, which is baffling to me, because you look at the card and it doesn't look like a 5. So to say that a card with a turned up corner where you can see the brown, and a card with a perfect corner in this condition is the same grade is, again, just kind of crazy. So what they did for me in the end is they made me pay to return these cards, return shipping. They didn't give me a label. I had to pay for it. So I was like, well, you made me ship them back. Can you do something there? And then for the delay and the hassle of waiting a full month to get resolution, then another couple weeks to get the card back, they gave me 5 free submissions to use them again. So that's fine. I'll use submissions. I'm not like, it's not like I hate SGC now. It just, the way this was handled was a complete debacle and was kind of crazy. So that's over and done with. But I know some of you are looking to see what happened there. I've gotten some messages. You know, let me know what happens with this. I mean, at the end of the day, it was handled very poorly, and their response was just bad. I mean, I sent them the videos, I sent them the pictures. You could obviously see the card in the sleeve with no turned up corner. And then magically the corner got turned up somehow, some way once it was in their possession. So I don't know what to say about it. It's over now. Let's get on to the PSA PreGrade submission here. So again, I've got 11 cards here. Nothing super valuable. A couple of these are crackouts, and I'll go through why I cracked these out, why I'm going to send them to PSA. First card here, 1955 Bowman Jim Wilson. This isn't a valuable card. It's just a pretty good grade for this set, at least in my opinion. It's also kind of a test. This card has a bit of an issue on the back here. Kind of hard to see, but a bit of an issue on the back there. Some staining. To me, the card looks like it's about a 6. But I don't know how they're going to treat the staining and stuff on the back. So I'm just, I mean, with wax sometimes on the front, it's easier to tell, but on the back, I don't know what they're going to do with that. So I'm going to say it's probably going to be a 5, which again isn't a valuable card in a 5, or a 6 for that matter, but it's a $15 special. I'm just going to send this in because it's a nice card, and we'll see what that gets. So I'm going to put down a 5 for that one. Not a card I would normally send in. But I don't have, I've graded pretty much all my raw 50 stuff. I need to get to at least 10 cards in submission, so this one's kind of a test. See how they treat that. This is one of the crackouts. This was in an SGC slab. I bought this at the National. It was an SGC 1 slab, which was accurate for the card, and I'll show you why. There's no creases in the card, so the card actually presents pretty well. It looks like it's probably a 3 or a 4 from the front, but it's stamped on the back. So the reason I'm sending it to PSA is I'm hoping that they'll give this like a 3 MK, which in my opinion increases the value from an SGC 1 if I can get a PSA 3 MK. And for 15 bucks, I'll take the chance. Now there's a chance they could upcharge me. It's borderline because it's $199 max value. So we'll see if they do anything like that. I kind of doubt it, but I'm hoping for a 3 MK on that card. Again, from an SGC 1. If it gets a 2 MK, still really no harm, no foul there. We'll see. So 1956 Topps Eddie Matthews Whiteback. It does have a crease right here. When I bought this raw in an auction not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, online auction, and the listing said no creases. When I got the card, it has creases. There's a crease right there. But presents pretty well otherwise. I think this will also be a 3. Could be a 2. It is a pretty bad crease, but I'm going to say it's a 3 just because it looks pretty good from there. Again, not a very valuable card. 15 bucks, I'll put it in a slab. This is probably the most valuable card in the submission. There's another National pickup. I picked this up in the last day of the National. As I was leaving, I'd already sent all my other submissions in, so I brought this home with me. It's 1956 Topps Ted Williams. No creases in this one. It looks pretty good. Probably an outside chance at a 4. The corners are pretty touched up. I'm going to say it's a 3. But could be a 4. So this one is probably over the 200 in value. But again, it's borderline, so we'll see if they upcharge me on this, but I'm going to say a 3 on the Ted. Got a 1952 Bowman Jim Pearsall. This one's off center, but pretty sharp otherwise. So again, I'm trying to scrounge together at least 10 cards. Back looks great. I think this is probably a 6. I think if it were centered, it'd probably be a 7 or an 8. But it does have a little bit of a, I can't tell what that is. Looks like it's just a fiber on the corner or something. So anyway, I'll say a 6 on this card. Again, nothing too valuable there. $25, $30 card if it comes back in a 6. Got a 1959 Topps Tigers team. Just a good looking card. Again, not that valuable. I think this is probably in the 6 range as well. Maybe an outside chance at a 7. The one corner is pretty touched up there on the right. But clean card otherwise. So we'll say it's a 6. 1953 Bowman color Lou Cretlow. Same thing, just a common here, but a sharp one. So I think this is probably in the 6 range as well. Corners are a little bit rounded down here in the bottom, but a little touched up, but it looks pretty good otherwise. Good coloring and stuff. Back looks good, no wax. So I'm expecting a 6 on that. Got a 1959 Topps Yankees team. This card is pretty beat up, but when you look online, these cards, between like a 3 and a 6, they all kind of sell for the same price of 35 or 40 bucks. So I think this is definitely in more the 3 range. It's pretty beat up, but it's not marked. It is diamond cut, so I don't know if they're gonna grade this or not. They may send it back as do not grade. PSA is typically kind of strict with that. But I'm going to say a 3 in the Yankees card. Again, probably a $35 card, $40 card in that grade. Just makes it easier to sell if it has a grade on it, in my opinion. This is the one I was not going to send, but again, I had to get 10 cards together. I ended up finding one more card at the end to kind of throw in. This is probably like a, I don't know. It's a 1956 Topps Athletics team card. It's probably in the 4 range, maybe a 5. I just thought it looked nice. Got some print lines on it. Got a couple Hall of Famers on there. Eno Slaughter. Who else is on there? I mean, Clete Boyer's a bigger star from that area. Bobby Shantz. I think that might be the only. I don't see any. Oh, Boudreaux. So not really any huge names on there. Dick Simpson, I think that's Dick Simpson. Floyd Boyer. But 4 or 5, again, probably a $25, $30 card in that grade. It looked pretty good, so I'm just gonna send it in. I guess I gotta make a call on this, what I really think it is. I'm gonna say it's a. I'm gonna say a 4. I'm hoping I can get a 5 though. Next one, this is another crack out. This was an SGC 4.5. I bought this as an SGC 4.5 recently. I did not grade this myself. And I bought it because I thought it was undergraded. So the card is very sharp, a little off center, but to me at face value it looks like a 6. Now I figured out why it's a 4.5. There is a slight issue down here on the bottom edge. Kind of see it there. Very minor, but I'm guessing that's why SGC gave it the 4.5. It's hardly noticeable on the front. You can't really see it, and you can, I mean, really barely see on the back. You can kind of see it. Looking at it through the phone here, you can see it a little bit right there. So I think it could be at least a 5 and maybe even a 6, depending on how PSA treats that little mark there in the back. It's like almost like a very slight wrinkle on the edge. So I'm going to say a 5. Even if it comes back or a 4 or a 5 in a PSA, it's not really that big of a deal. I paid like 40 bucks for the card. It's worth probably 50 or 60 in a PSA 4, and I think a 6 is worth around 100. So we'll see. To me, it's worth the risk. So we'll send it in. I think it could get a 5 though, from an SGC 4.5. Last one, this one I found just going through some binders, kind of after I'd completed my submission. Throw one more card in. Again, not that valuable. It's 1955 Bowman Ralph Kiner. I think it could be a 4. It is a little bit rough around the edges, but these cards are always rough around the edges. It's got pretty good centering, top to bottom, left to right. No wrinkles. So I think it'll be a 4. Probably just like a $30 card and a 4. But Hall of Famer. So I'm going to send it in for 15 bucks. So that is it. Again, nothing too crazy in that submission. I try to send some submissions in pretty consistently, just so I always have cards coming back that I can sell. And again, this is disappointing with the way SGC handled this and really didn't take any responsibility and just told me to stop using penny sleeves. So not really what I was expecting to hear, but it is what it is. I'll move on, and I'll utilize the 5 submissions they sent me. It'll give me back some of the potential loss value there for that Aaron card. Again, the others I'm not really too upset about. This kind of happens, right? Mislab or incorrect slabbing happens. They fixed that, no problem. The Stargell, whatever. The corner was kind of suspect. The rest of the cards in that submission that had corner damage, whatever. I've already sold most of them. It is what it is. It's over with. But the Aaron's kind of disappointing. So if you guys like the video, give us a follow, give us a like. Medford Collectibles on all the platforms. I'm going to keep doing the what is now turned into a bi-weekly sales and profit recap. I just can't keep up with the weekly. We've got too much going on with work. So I'll try to keep doing this at least bi-weekly. Hopefully I get back to weekly cadence at some point. I do have a PSA submission that came back. It's a 1980 special. So I've got, I think, 15 or 20 cards from that I'll go through and do a reveal on this week. I did see the grades. Nothing too exciting in that one. Just a lot of cheaper 80s cards that was in that $15 submission from a few months ago. So I'll do those as well. And I still have one other submission out of PSA for the 1960 special that I think I did a pre-grade on here as well. Some manuals and stuff in it. So when those come back, I'll do another video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk to you next time.